And good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to Extol Unfiltered, caffeinated by NWSB. I'm Angie Fenton. Meteorologist Ben Piney looks a little different today.
Yeah, I went from old man, grizzly beard to the boyish look once again.
Ben, I mean, somebody called you old man.
Yeah, my neighbor Ron.
I was going to say, can we call Ron out right here?
He said, sorry, you look like an old
See, that's a
man.
friend, though. That's a friend.
I said, you look like an old man. But I would say, because I posted the shaving process yesterday from No Shave November, and I would say it's half and half. Some love it, some hate it. And, if we're going 50-50 on whether you like the beard or not, I'm going to go with what the wife says, and she doesn't like it.
The wife is done.
The wife wins.
Sarah,
actually, I win too, because I did not like it.
That's my curiosity, because I mean, what does that feel like growing a beard when you haven't for how many years?
I never have, because in television, it really wasn't something that they wanted. so
no shave November is over.
That was the longest I've ever gone, and it just felt like an animal growing on my face, and I was ready to get it off.
And how long did it take you to shave it off? Was it quick?
Yeah, it was pretty quick. Yeah,
nice and easy. But you took it in phases.
Yeah.
Let's go back one more time. The mustache guy.
I kind of like the bottom left.
I mean,
like I don't know, just your goofy neighbor.
I love it. I love it. I love it. But you know what I also love? Snow.
Snowmageddon.
Snow. Let's first of all take a look at this. Is this what's coming?
Yeah, generally 1 to 3 inches. I would say, in the middle that's 2 inches. And a lot of people look at that 3 and they want the 3, and then they just get a 1 and they say, where's all the snow? Well, it was, it's in that range. I would say generally 2 inches or less across the area. The National Weather Service has posted a winter weather advisory that kicks in at 10 p.m. tonight. So it's going to be a late night snow, most of it during the overnight when we're sleeping. And then most of that snow is going to be gone by sunrise tomorrow morning. So this could cause some slippery roads for our Tuesday morning commute. And there could be a light glazing of some ice, especially south of Louisville, where you see that little red area. Mm-hmm. So generally north of the Bluegrass, Western Kentucky Parkway is the best chance for some of the light accumulation than rain to the south. And then for the rest of the week, we're looking pretty quiet, actually, and just pretty cold and mostly dry. Yesterday, the models were calling for maybe a little wintry mix Friday. They've kind of taken that out. So actually, the rest of the week is pretty quiet. The big story here is, of course, the snow tonight. My son Brady's probably excited for maybe a at-home e-learning day. So I think we'll see a lot of, I don't know if they close school anymore, but taking the Chromebooks home.
Do you think is that your prediction?
I think we'll have an at-home day tomorrow. Yeah.
Gosh, and I mean, when you have an at-home day and it includes snow, it makes it worth it. Mm-hmm. It makes it worth it. But again, I mean, woke up this morning, Alexa's got her little, yellow line and all of that kind of stuff. So, I mean, later tonight.
Yeah, after 10 p.m. So if you have any travel today, you're just fine. It's going to be dry throughout the entire daytime and actually much of the evening too. I'd say after 10 o'clock, midnight, we'll start to see the steady snow showers starting to move in.
And then you're going to just really dive into that on Ben at 10.
Yep, coming up at 10 a.m. So stay tuned.
Okay. Well, I know both of us are very excited to have a guest that we both know. Have you heard of alpha-gal syndrome? Well, award-winning journalist Melissa Swan has, and she knows firsthand about this life-threatening allergy. And Melissa is joining us this morning to share a cautionary tale. But before we even dive into that, Melissa, how are you?
I'm great now. It's taken a long time. I've been away from WHAS for 8 years. I sometimes dip in and help at the crusade. Mm-hmm. But no, I'm just doing things that retired women and grandmothers do and that sort of thing, and travel a lot. Good. But no, so I feel great now. Some days, sometimes I don't. You never know with this. It's syndrome, allergy, disease. All
of the above
are accurate. Yes. So I have alpha-gal, Do you want me to just
Tell us
Dive
first and
And that doesn't
foremost,
mean strong woman. Right?
which
I know.
Even though you are a strong woman.
It makes you a strong woman.
makes you-
I'm telling you, it makes you a strong woman.
but dive into that. What is it?
Okay, well, I can't even tell you off the top of my head. It is so complicated that I got something. I put into AI. Okay, a simple way to say what alpha-gal is. This is what I get. It's an allergic reaction to a sugar molecule. Alpha-gal is found in most mammals. It is triggered in people by bites from certain ticks. That's a Lone Star tick, which injects this molecule into a person's bloodstream, and you become allergic to everything from a mammal. I've learned since I have this, a lot of people don't know what a mammal is. I am allergic to beef, pork, anything dairy, anything, deer meat, anything, cheese, milk, anything from a mammal. I cannot eat. I can eat chicken and fish.
And how did this begin for you?
Well, I was sick in 2020, right during COVID. We were all locked in, and my sisters and I would have little talks on the porch, on one of my sister's porches. And we'd be distanced. And I'd say to the girls, I'm sick. I'm sick all the time. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm sick all the time. And it was just, I had these terrible stomach pains and other gastrointestinal problems that were just totally take you out of life. And I kept going to the doctor and going to the doctor. I had every test imaginable. You can, sometimes 3. I had 3 gallbladder tests.
Oh my goodness.
Every test you can imagine, blood and scopes and everything. Couldn't do it. They said it's stress. It's stress. I said, I was a news anchor for 31 years. This is not how I handle stress. But I went ahead and took the pills. It wasn't stress. Finally, in November of 2021, I made a really good pot roast. I wasn't much of a cook. I'm a better cook now. Wasn't much of a cook, but I made this great pot roast. And I ate a lot of it. And about 10:30 that night, I began to get these huge hives all over my stomach, my torso, everywhere, all the way around my body. It was bright red, like a sunburn. And so I started wiping on ointments, and I started taking Benadryl. Nothing was working. Nothing was working. Somewhere deep down inside me, in my head, I knew I had to get to a hospital. This was not normal. So my husband was asleep. I woke him up, and he got dressed real fast. I was so tired. I couldn't get dressed. So finally, I said, we need an ambulance. He said, no, I'll get you there faster. And we fortunately were in Louisville about 5 minutes from an ER. So we went there, and I passed out on the, I walked into the ER, I passed out.
Oh my goodness.
And the nurse said, has she been drinking? And I said, no, I hadn't that night. But they didn't know what was going on. But my blood pressure had plummeted to 60/40, which at that point your organs begin to shut down.
Allergic shock.
Yes. Things stop working. And so I'm back in one of those rooms, and I have 6 people working on me. And nobody knew what was wrong with me. And I said, am I having a stroke? And the doctor said, no. And I said, is this COVID? Because we were right in the middle of it, 21. And he said, no. And I said, am I going to die?
Oh.
And he said, well, everybody dies, but not tonight.
Wow.
So they got my blood pressure up. They sent me up to an ICU, and nobody knew what happened. So my doctor, a wonderful internal medicine doctor, called a friend of his who was an allergist. And the allergist said, tell her not to eat anything she ate the day before. They sent me for a blood test, took about a couple of days, and it came back, and it said I had alpha-gal. I was allergic to everything from a mammal. He told me, I think it was the allergist who called me, and I laughed. I said, I've never heard of anything like this.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's allergic to everything from a mammal. Well, I had been living on a low carb, high protein diet. Mm-hmm. And with alpha-gal, there's kind of a tipping point. If you have a little bit, it's not going to send you into anaphylactic shock. Mm-hmm. But if you have a lot, like I did, like the gentleman who died recently, the pilot, mm-hmm. I think they said he had a steak one night and a hamburger for lunch. Alpha-gal has, the reason it was so difficult, it's only been diagnosed since like 2012, I think. The reason it was so difficult to diagnose was because the symptoms come in hours after you have ingested. Like I ate dinner and then 4 hours later, I broke out into the hives.
I guess this can present a little differently.
Everybody is different. Everybody. I'm on alpha-gal threads. People talk about having alpha-gal, and a lot of us have, in my case, extreme gastrointestinal problems. And my husband and I laid in bed one day and planned my funeral because I couldn't figure out how someone could be in that much pain and not have something really seriously wrong. So a lot of people have heart problems. I had a cousin who had it, didn't know it until after I got it, and that was one of the reasons she got tested. But she's had to have several heart caths because it always presented as a heart problem. Some people have hives. Some people, it's not the kind of allergy. Some people, it may happen to some people, but I think fewer, that you think of peanuts, like your throat closes up real fast. This is a delayed reaction, and usually not something that closes up your throat. I think that the shock and the hives and all of that's the worst thing.
Do you remember a Lone Star tick bite?
I do. My dog brought it in, and I've been bitten twice since then. I'm just a magnet for those things, I guess. And so my numbers, alpha-gal numbers, really don't mean anything. There's a chart. So if you're on the chart, you've got it. If you're not on the chart, you don't. But so the numbers don't have much to do with severity, but they could tell that I had been bitten again. And the day, I know when I was bitten, and I had covered myself with everything you could imagine, and it was April, and it was muddy, and you wouldn't think it'd be tick season. So it's very, and if you were bitten, months ago, if you have unexplained, this is my message for everyone and for the medical community. If you have unexplained gastrointestinal problems, and they've done all the basic tests, and your labs look good, as they say, alpha-gal can be detected through a blood test, a simple blood test, just like cholesterol or anything like that. Some insurance pays for it, some insurance doesn't, but it's worth it because the only cure for alpha-gal is to stop eating everything from a mammal. That is the only way you can. Now there are some people who say that they will get needles in their ears, and that is one way. It's a type of and the name escapes me.
Acupuncture?
Acupuncture. Yes,
really? Thank you.
It's a type of acupuncture, and it's controversial. I've had it. It didn't work for me. I know people who've had it. It worked for them. But so be careful with that. It's called SAAT. Look into it. If it's up your alley, try it. But it's not 100% of a cure, and it doesn't cure alpha-gal. Doctors say it can go away. I've yet to meet anyone who it goes away. Because you can have just a little tiny bit in your system, and you'll still be reactive.
I'm going to pull up probably a familiar name to all of us, Randy Bullitt. Randy Bullitt says, I have alpha-gal apparently from a tick bite.
Yes.
And he continues and says, yes, you eat red meat, you break out into itchy hives. And my understanding is it eventually goes away, and his question is 2 years. I did some reading, of course, after we connected.
Right.
For some people,
Right.
when they stop eating anything mammalian, then
It will
can.
go. It doesn't go away, but you don't
But
have
you
reactions.
don't have the reactions.
Now, it can. The literature you read will say it will go away in 4 to 5 years. If you read alpha-gal threads and get into alpha-gal communities, there are people who've had it for decades.
There's Kim Westerman says her 90-year-old dad has it.
Oh, wow.
Kim, I'm curious, how long has your dad had it, and how is he doing? Very curious about that.
You know what's crazy? In 2023, I had a year like you. I had 3 scopes, gastro problems, gallbladder, the radioactive test,
Right, yeah,
and
all of
everything.
it, yeah.
I missed thousands of dollars in medical bills. They tried everything. They tried digestive pills,
Right.
everything.
Me too.
They couldn't find anything wrong with me. And
Did
they
they
said
do?
stress too.
Did they do
I've
an
never
alpha-gal
taken
test?
the test.
You should take the test.
So
do you,
I should
do
probably
you
take the test.
occasionally get sick
Well,
for no
I've
reason?
also got 3 dogs, and we live in the woods, so
I know.
I've been bitten by those Lone Star ticks plenty of times.
I would get the test. I would get the test. What I really feel sorry for, and of course, your 90-year-old dad, I feel sorry for, but you can kind of control his eating. But little kids have this. 8, 9-year-old kids. My doctor, when I got it, my allergist, his youngest patient was 8. And you can't go to. There is nothing. Now I say this. This is my experience. There is nothing I can eat at McDonald's. Nothing. I take my grandchildren to McDonald's. I have a Diet Coke because they cook in beef tallow. They cook their fries, and I'm seeing more and more like Steak and Shake. I saw a big sign. In beef tallow.
Yeah.
They think this is something great. Well, for the rest of us, for people like me, it's terrible.
So then tell me this. Do you know how like tallow has become
Oh yeah, no,
like,
you can't.
You can't
or
put it on
collagen.
your face?
I finally found a collagen. I was looking for collagen for wrinkles, and I wanted to take a collagen. Sorry about my phone. It's taken forever. I finally did find one that was a marine collagen.
Okay.
But everything else is bovine.
Oh my goodness.
You have to read. If you have alpha-gal, you have to read the ingredients, no matter how small they are. I bought chicken sausages. Incidentally, Aldi's is a really good place to find things you can eat.
Sure.
I don't know why. But it was at Aldi's, and I got chicken sausages. I was reading on one of my threads, and they said, well, of course, they're not encased. And I went to the refrigerator, and I looked, and the casing was bovine. You can't, and anything you use on your skin, like it can't be lanolin. This is the biggest thing that has affected my life. It's easy to cook at home, and now I'm very vegetarian, leaning toward vegan. But the going to a restaurant is just so hard, and it's so hard on my friends and family. I think because I have to go through the whole thing. If you go to a really high-end restaurant, I say allergies are the new popularity, because the chef will come over and it's the new celebrity. The chef will come over, the people will come over. They want to make sure you're fine. But if you go to a regular restaurant, like most of us do, and take your family, cross-contamination, they make everything, like I can't eat it at Chipotle because, as far as I know, they might correct me, they cook everything on a flat top, and all of these, there's cross-contamination. We, at my house, have 2 different grills where my husband will cook meat on one grill and then chicken, so our turkey was cooked on a grill that I can eat on. There's cross-contamination.
Wow.
First time I knew that was he made me some scrambled eggs one morning and in a cast iron skillet, and I was so sick the rest of the day. We have in Leavenworth, Indiana, where I have a house, we have a great place called The Dock, and they made me a great fish sandwich one day, and I was so happy. I was sick for 2 days because it wasn't their fault. It wasn't their fault. But it was made in the same area.
You knew.
So if you get something, you think, oh, I'll get a grilled chicken sandwich. But you have to make sure that it's not grilled on the same place the hamburgers were grilled. It's really difficult.
The strange thing about this, because when I researched it, it like came out of nowhere.
Right.
Like, growing up, we never heard of it.
I mean, especially dating back to what you'd said for how long ago. But here, Kim, I want to pull this comment up here.
Yeah.
Kim says her 90-year-old father went to 3 different allergists and dermatologists, but routine blood work at his doctor recently found it. The infectious disease center actually called him, and she says 20 years, but just diagnosed, been suffering with hives and swelling for years.
Right.
I'm going to take a little bit of an assumption from what Kim is sharing with us, and you probably, like you had said, everything was good. That test.
Well, they didn't know about it.
Right.
They didn't know about it.
had
It
to
was
have that
only
test.
discovered, as I said, in 2012, and that was because I think it's a University of North Carolina. Doctor, you have to go back to my research. They discovered it by accident. They were looking into a cancer drug, and then one of the researchers was bitten and started being sick, and they just put everything together. They're researchers, but yes. I was so frustrated when I first got this, and I've done a couple of television interviews and a couple of interviews about it, because even when I go to the hospital, they didn't know about it. When I went to the emergency room one time for something else, the emergency room doctor and the man who was in charge of food services were the only 2 people in the entire hospital who knew what alpha-gal was. None of the nurses, none of the staff. And this is what I would like. I would like to give speeches to hospital staff.
Yes.
And it's becoming more widespread, more commonly known. But if anybody wants me to talk to their hospital staff, I will gladly, because it just needs to be more known, and it's getting out. Unfortunately, the pilot's death had a lot to do with this, but we don't want people to die. People can die from this, and a friend of mine, when he told me about the pilot, he said, "Don't freak out." I said, I was there. I did almost die of it. When I say that, I think people think I'm exaggerating. No. But no, it's
also just
not.
the suffering with it is.
No, the suffering is bad.
I'm going to bring up another comment. Clara Houses ask if they can put foil on the grill to fix the fish. Marcy's at Leopold, Indiana did that for our grandson.
Yeah, I think that might work. What you have to consider is how much of the meat drippings are in the top of the grill. Do you have like a Weber? Do you have? It's just if he didn't get sick, that's great. I think that's fine. We go to extremes because I had such an extreme case. So possibly that could work. I wouldn't say that wouldn't work.
Sure.
But I told my husband this last time. I said, now what about from the inside of the grill?
Right.
What about that? Some people are very affected by fumes.
Okay, I was going to say it probably has a continuum. You
Yes.
just vary.
I'm sorry about this.
Ben,
If you continue to feel sick and you're doing all the right things, it might be because your family is cooking a hamburger and the fumes in the house can make you sick. I don't have too much of a problem with fumes, but I have a real problem with cross-contamination.
Do you want to take Mary's comment?
Mary Ridge saying, thanks for the info. I know 3 people from Crawford County that
I know
have
a
it.
lot in Crawford County.
Ticks are still active now.
It's funny. We have 4 cats, 4 dogs, and then our 2 cats who are here. And it's expensive, but I keep my dogs, because everybody else is indoor, but I keep my dogs on Bravecto all year round. All year round.
Well, it's interesting that Mary says this. Hi, Mary. I got bitten the second time in April after we had all the rain, and she'll know that some people's houses in Leavenworth kind of slipped over and the hillside, and we were checking our property, and as I said, I sprayed all over and covered up and did everything. I did not take a shower as soon as I came in. I waited a while, I had something to eat. But then I did take a shower before I went to bed, and they still were on me in the middle of the night.
Wow.
I found them. They are insistent little
that bums
things.
me.
But
And you do have one of the best views in all of Indiana, by the way. in
yes,
Leavenworth.
thank you.
Yeah.
We love it.
It's
It's on the river.
gorgeous.
It's very pretty. But we were just down. It was muddy. It was cold. It was April. Who would think? And I have not been to. This is something I feel guilty about. But we have a beautiful cemetery in Leavenworth, and my parents' graves are at the back side of it, and you walk through the grass to get there. And I did not go all summer.
Yeah.
And I'm was thinking about this weekend now that it's so cold, but Mary says sticks are still out there. I'm very susceptible, evidently. There's new research being done all the time. It is, people are researching it, and I think that the more of us who get more information out there,
Oh my gosh,
that people, I don't know if there will be a cure, although I did see over the weekend that some kids in Atlanta have come up with a way to cure Lyme disease or possibly cure Lyme disease, and high school kids. And so you never know. But my main message is, if you have unexplained symptoms of it, just keep at it, because, that pot roast could be your last. And it's no exaggeration. And I would just ask for the alpha-gal. Could this be alpha-gal? I keep hearing about alpha-gal. If your doctor says no, I find an allergist who will give it. Allergists, I think, will gladly call for an alpha-gal test.
Yeah, so with my physician, like my yearly checkup, the normal blood test is not going to be on there. So I need to request that to be on there.
Right, right. You might have to go to a different facility. They might not do it there.
Yeah.
I had to go to a LabCorp to get it done, but that was very easy. My doctor called him. I went in there. I got the test, 2 days later. It is not a big deal to get this test. And what I would like to see is, now that so many people, they say 450,000 people have been diagnosed, but think of all the people who haven't been diagnosed.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So what I would like to see is the alpha-gal test be a mainstream test, just like cholesterol. And I don't know how much, the pharmaceutical companies, can't get in on this and all of that. I don't know how much that's going to come to play in this.
Sure.
But I do encourage everyone, doctors and people who have had these unexplained symptoms, to go in and to look, because my cousin was encouraged to do this by someone in a doctor's office, not a doctor. And she said, "Oh, my cousin has that. I don't have that." And sure enough,
She had.
after years and years of these heart symptoms, she had
That's what it
alpha-gal.
was. I'm
Still
going to rip
people-
through.
Still people don't know about it.
So, Al DeVore, 1617 from YouTube. Wow, never heard of this. Melissa's from my dad and grandparents' hometown of Leavenworth, Indiana.
Yes.
Clara says, when we were talking about the grill, pretty sure it was a flat top grill.
Oh, that's good.
Vegetarian dishes, says Randy. Seafood.
And chicken,
dishes.
right.
Red meat. No.
Never, ever. And now some people, I read on these threads, I had a little bit of brisket and I got hives. I don't understand how anybody takes chances. Just
Right.
I have,
After what you've
and I
gone
have no
through.
desire to ever eat red meat, so that is not my goal. But a lot of people want to get back to hamburgers and stuff.
Donna says, I have a nephew, granddaughter, and brother that have it. It's a beast.
I think that's what she means. It's a
Yes,
beast.
it's a beast. I love this. Who calls you
Mary.
Missy? That's when you know right?
Yeah.
Someone knows you knows you.
Yeah, everybody I know from home calls me Missy.
Aw.
So
Yeah.
does an EpiPen work for this? Or?
Oh yeah, I carry
Okay.
one all the
Okay.
time. I have one in my purse now. I should have brought it out here. I didn't.
So
even think.
that's you definitely have
And
to
the thing
have
about
that.
an EpiPen, it's if you're out there and you have it, and get an EpiPen if you can. EpiPens are expensive, and if you're doing everything right, you never need them. So it's so frustrating. Every time my EpiPen runs out,
Yeah.
I then have to go buy a new EpiPen, but the other ones but I keep them because they say even if they're old, they might have some sort of
Sure.
effectiveness in them. But yes, I carry an EpiPen everywhere I go. I'm sorry, I should have brought that out.
No, Gina says, good morning from New Albany. Great information. Melissa, thank you. Barb just dropped a heart. Can't agree with you more. That's all you need to say. And then our Eldivore 1617, just crazy about the cross-contamination and the sense of it even bothering some. Melissa, you have a bracelet on. Is that part of? I'm going to pull this up here. If you want to hold that, you can kind of see it. Hold that up.
Yeah, it might be too shiny. In fact, this is my second one. My first one didn't have the red cross on it, so I want people to notice. This is in case I'm in a wreck or something and I can't speak. But the first thing it says is alpha gal, and then I have several other allergies. I'm a redhead, so that's part and parcel of being a redhead. But yeah, alpha gal's the very first one, and so I wear that all the time, and I have an EpiPen all the time.
Randy had a question. Do you have issues with seafood, chicken?
None.
Anything?
None. If it's properly
vegetarian?
cooked, no.
Nope.
I love vegetarian restaurants. I'm always looking for a restaurant with a vegetarian option. But it just depends. Like a crazy thing. This disease is crazy. I can eat a Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich for some reason. It's not on a grill, and I guess and they do use canola oil. I always check to see what kind of oil they use. And so it's if I want to have something really bad, well, not bad, I shouldn't say bad, but treat myself with something I wouldn't normally eat, or isn't that great for you probably, I'll go to Wendy's and get a spicy chicken sandwich. Now, Bob, I can't do that at McDonald's because they use the beef tallow. You just have to be hypersensitive about what you eat. And I want to say before I leave, my friends and family have been so wonderful about this. I have friends in Florida who, when we go out to restaurants, everybody has to sit and wait for me to make my spiel. I have alpha-gal. That's an allergy that makes you allergic to anything from a mammal. That's red meat. So if you could, I can't have butter, but I could have margarine. You can't have You can't find margarine in a good restaurant. No. But I can have olive oil. So if you want to cook a piece of fish in olive oil, that would be fantastic, but it has to be cooked on a different plate, and it has to,
You are navigating a lot of food.
I know.
Do you ever get pushback?
Oh, never. Good. I think restaurants, now they may tell me it's not possible. I have been told that I have been told by one chain restaurant, they don't have pans. Yeah. They only cook on a flat top. So, I had a salad. I'm not going to, obviously, I'm not going to starve to death. But my kids over Thanksgiving were so sweet. They made a pumpkin pie I could eat. They made a green bean dish I could eat. They are really, really good. My friends are good. I have found vegan cheese that I ordered. You just have to kind of look around.
Yes.
So
I'm going to pull this comment up because I think it answers everything. One, Barbara Day says Melissa looks great.
Oh, hi, Barbara.
Hope she is doing well.
I am doing well.
Is that hard, though? Because you look great.
Oh, well, thank you. When at the height of it, I wasn't doing great. I was very sedentary because my stomach hurt so badly, and I couldn't leave the house because I didn't know if I'd have to find a bathroom very quickly, to put it nicely.
Sure.
It's a very, very the gastrointestinal problems were horrible, and I would literally be on the couch for days. And of course, I didn't know what was causing it, so I kept eating what I thought. I was eating my low carb, high fat, high protein diet, low fat, and that was all the wrong stuff. And because of this delay, it wasn't like I would eat that and it would make me real sick. But so in the beginning, it was pretty bad, and been until recently that I had, I felt like myself. I've had more energy. I mean, when you have all those stomach issues, I mean, your gut is your body.
Yeah.
And when you have gut issues, it just zaps your energy. It really
Brain
does.
fog, all that
So I
stuff,
went
yeah.
from working out to no working out to just being on the couch to do this to that. Yeah, I have some wild stories about being sick, but I haven't had those problems in a long, long time. But I don't take chances. I did go through a period where I would maybe eat cheese on a pizza or something, or I would have maybe a creamer in my coffee, or I would do something. And I quickly learned that I could do it for a while,
Yeah.
but then there would be that tipping point and I would be sick again. And so I'm fairly religious about it now, or I am religious.
Well, I'm glad you
about
figured it out.
Definitely. I'm going to throw this up there. Can you all spell alpha gal?
I think
And
that's right.
it's, when you look online,
There you go.
it's like that. Alpha-gal. Oop. Syndrome. Your English major right here. Just type that in. It's Monday morning.
She types quickly.
I did. quickly and incorrectly. Let's try that one more time. But alpha-gal syndrome.
Yeah.
And you're doing well.
I'm doing great.
And you're going to continue to spread your message.
Yes, I want to. So if anybody wants me to come talk, I will come talk.
And that would...
And thank you all for letting me do it.
Oh, my
because
goodness.
By the way, good
I
to
think
see
this
you.
is
We
what
worked
this-
together 9 years ago,
know.
and we've got 4 people that used to work together at the
Conference
same
is
place.
over here.
Over
all
here,
of us
Todd's
work at
over
the same
there.
place.
Yeah.
Do a little reunion.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
yes, I really appreciate you letting me come on
Wow.
and talk about it, and just hope it gets out there, and people don't take any chances. It's just a change in lifestyle.
Nice
Oh,
if
my
there's
goodness.
an at-home test you could order. I wonder if they can make that.
I mean, who knows?
Who knows?
Continue with the
Yeah.
advocacy, and you never know.
Make it easy.
Maybe some, yeah. I think that the best bet right now is just insist on getting that test. And what we have to do is make sure that insurance companies, because if they're testing our cholesterol all the time, let's test for this too. I mean,
Absolutely.
this is killing people. I'm sure cholesterol can at extremes, but it's
Very
it's a very,
necessary.
very necessary thing. Yes.
And we will be publishing as well, I mean, your first person account of this on extolmag.com. And I mean, I just appreciate that you are on a mission so that other people don't have to suffer.
Yeah, that's the
And we're
best.
gonna push
Yes,
someone.
and I want to
I
know.
know. I'm going to get tested. And,
Yes.
it's just crazy. You were, I think, the first person I've ever known that has had this.
I was the first person I ever knew, but then I know lots.
Yeah.
I know lots. In Crawford County, where we have a house and we spend a lot of time, there are a lot of people there because we are out in the wilderness, and we do walk through the grass. But my niece said to me, she said, you know, Missy, you don't seem like a real big hiker. And I said, I'm not. I just walk through the grass.
Yeah.
You know, it's no biggie.
Can you answer this?
Sure.
Are you reactive to, is it
Yes.
carrageenan?
I don't even know, but that is an additive, and I could be wrong here. I hope I'm not. This is an additive put into a lot of chicken. Here's another thing I didn't say. The chicken I eat and the turkey I eat, I call it clean.
Yep.
I only eat turkey and chicken and eggs from vegetarian animals, vegetarian fed animals. Wow. If it says organic, I don't get it. I only buy it if it says they're vegetarian fed. This that starts with a C that I can't pronounce is an additive, and I think that's the one that comes from seaweed, and it's like a binding agent. There are several chemicals and things that have big long names that are additives and binding agents that
Red
also
seaweed.
make you reactive. I found out after I had a surgery that there are some medications that you cannot take, and morphine is one of them. So if you're going for surgery
Wow.
and you need a valve, make sure it's not from a pig.
Right.
Make
Oh my
sure they
gosh.
don't use anything that comes from a mammal.
That
Now
makes
they do
sense.
have synthetic valves
Sure.
that they use, but yes, that is a good with the car. I'm sorry, I've never known how to pronounce it. A lot of things, if you read those ingredients, that's why I say you really need a magnifying glass sometimes to read those ingredients and make sure that this doesn't contain milk, this doesn't contain that, this doesn't, and there's something with magnesium cerate that you're not supposed to have. I just make sure it doesn't have it in it. I don't exactly know why, but there are things that will trigger it like that.
Ben, you want to take this one, and then we'll take one more
We
comment.
got a
after
good morning
that.
from Lillian Lasley there in Litchfield, Kentucky. And then Laura DeVore says, thank you for this information. So very important to know. A lot of us have unexplained gastro problems. Well worth looking into.
Definitely is. Definitely
And then
is.
Terry Pop says, try eating emu.
I have just said that. I don't know where to get it. Does Terry know where to get it? I don't know where to
Adamu
get it.
Hills in Tennessee is great.
Oh,
You can
he's
probably
got it
order
down
it.
there. Okay. Adamu Hills.
Adamu
I'll look it up
Hills.
today, Terry, because I was reading over the weekend that emu, it tastes like red meat, evidently.
Lauren, you can catch us on the replay here, but Melissa Swan has joined us today to talk about alpha-gal syndrome, something which literally almost took her life, and is a big advocate for that. But after the show's over, it'll be all on the page, and you can listen, watch, and we always jump into the replay as well and hear everything that Melissa's shared with us today.
Well, thank you once again.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Oh my
Great
goodness.
information.
Now, it was great having Melissa Swan here. Very quickly, we did not talk about weekend other than Ben. If you missed this, Ben, it's No Shave November is over.
It is over, and I'm kind of glad it's over. I got called that I looked like an old grizzly man there.
But
on
you
the
got
top
called that by a
left.
friend.
A friend.
See,
yeah.
that's a friend.
And it was really half and half. I didn't ask for people to judge my appearance, but they certainly went after it. And,
Welcome to life, Ben.
about half and half liked it, and half didn't. So
I just wanted to quickly share this. So I got really lucky. Thanksgiving, my husband and our 9-year-old daughter cooked everything. After we just talked about alpha-gal
Nice.
syndrome, I think this would, like, Melissa, we don't even want to show you this. There's an awful lot of red meat on there.
Delish.
But olive decorated, like she picked out the little tablecloth. She did all the plates. My contribution, which again, alpha-gal syndrome, you could not consume that. The turkey-shaped butter. Turkey-shaped butter from Preferred Meats. That
Oh,
was my
nice.
contribution. Literally, that is
Just wondering
all
where
that I
you
did.
get
That is all that I did, and I appreciate that they did that for me. And then on Black Friday, because he was on with us last week, Olive had a ball. That, of course,
Oh,
is
yeah.
Wiley Brown and his son, Caleb, Coach Caleb. And lots of kids enjoyed. They had 2 different sessions for the Black Friday mini camp, and that was
awesome.
amazing.
speaking of Thanksgiving, I want to thank my wife, Sarah. We had 20 people over.
I saw
and
your
she
pictures.
cooked a bunch, and
Your Sarah is a rock
there's a lot that
star.
goes into that, cleaning and cooking, and so
She is a rock star. But then there also, of course, was some sad news on Thanksgiving. And so we have welcomed Jason Applegate, who definitely has known the Zeller family for a long time. What's your first memory of Fuzzy?
Oh, I mean, I remember growing up at New Albany Country Club, and they had a sign, of course, of Fuzzy and his accomplishments. But I mean, I remember when they were building their house in Floyd's Knobs, and I grew up in Sheffield Square Apartments, and while they were building that house, their family moved into there for a few months while the house was being finished. So, I mean, there's just countless. I mean, when I was, young, Courier Journal came out. I think it was Courier Journal, could have been Tribune, but Courier Journal was like, the next Fuzzy Zeller, right? So, I mean, it's a family you grew up with around here, which was pretty special.
For those of you who didn't hear that, which I mean made national news, Frank Urban Zeller, otherwise known as Fuzzy, died on Thanksgiving at the age of 2000, or at the age of 74. But we interviewed him pre-Ben here at Extol. I looked this up. I believe it was May 13th, 2015. And that was do you remember? I mean, that was a really, really big deal. Even though you knew him, Jason, we had our creative director, Adam Kleinert, was there. You were there. I was there.
Tony
I
Bennett.
think
I
Tony
think
Bennett
he
was
shot
there.
it.
Tony
Yeah, I
Bennett
think he
from
shot
the
it.
photographer. And what I remember most is, I mean, I'm pregnant. For one, I was pregnant, and what I remember is we were going to be super respectful. You knew him, I did not. And we were going to be super respectful of his time. He was so funny and so accommodating. And I mean, I had my questions, boom, 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 boom. And Ben, you know this from interviewing people. And then when we were done, he was like, is that it? Like, he was expecting. And then I wrote the story, and I got criticized for his use of swears, which I love Jesus and I cuss a lot. I love words, and we assign meaning to swears and all this kind of stuff. That I just feel very differently about swear words than most people do. And I said, and I got criticized, I was not going to sanitize Fuzzy Zeller. And I wrote that article in a way that I hope reflected who he is. And, you know, take the criticism.
I mean,
but
the
whatever.
man spread a lot of joy wherever he went. I remember I met him
Always.
2006, 2007 when I was caddying at Augusta National before the Masters, and he comes up to the range, and he's talking to everybody out there. I mean, just a funny guy to be around. John Daly did a tribute
Yes.
to him as well.
John Daly posted that, to a best friend and a father figure who helped me a ton in my life. I'll miss you beyond words. Rest in peace, Fuzzy. I mean, I think the best piece that I saw written about him, and we'll get to some of those in just a second. So many just disappointed, but the best one, golf.com. I mean, I think that write-up was amazing. And I mean, they described that Fuzzy Zeller lived a large life, and that he just was walking joy and fun and funny. Do you recall? I mean, is that how you would describe his personality?
I mean, of course, you knew when he was in the room, but not because of him doing anything special. But he was a magnet to people. I mean, you wanted to be around him. You wanted to be included in the stories. He included you in the stories. I mean, I remember he loved to cook. I remember seeing him around Thanksgiving. I couldn't tell you how long ago. Him and Diane were, of course, when Diane was alive as well, but it was prior to her pass. So it was probably 10, 12 years ago to see him walking around Kroger grabbing stuff on a shopping list. And I had, or they were grabbing stuff. I had a shopping list, and he goes, still using a shopping list. Like, you know, I mean, and it just, those kind of stories, those things that you were around. But with our area, what he brought, with bringing New Albany, Indiana, always putting that on, his name where he was from was pretty cool.
Heart goes out to his family too, his kids who still live here.
Oh my gosh. And
I mean-
Michelle Huber, who, I mean, she wrote a beautiful post. I mean, served as his executive assistant for many, many, many years. And I mean, just the love.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the things that people may not realize, right? I mean, he's got 3 daughters, 1 son, and right now I don't know when Diane passed away.
4 years
been
ago.
4 years ago, and then now their dad passes away
On a holiday.
on holiday. I mean, that's a tough when that family has been very close. I mean, I know Fuzzy's brothers, Eddie and Tommy. I mean, of course, a lot of people around this area know Bo Zeller, which is Fuzzy's nephew. I mean, Bo and Fuzzy were very close. I mean, there's a lot of people, especially younger generation, because of the kids, that have also been very, very close to the family.
I want to share a couple of things for those who don't know, and this was fun looking these up. His 1979 Masters win came in his first appearance, the last person to do that on the first attempt thus far. And it was in a three-way playoff with Ed Snead and Tom Watson. He won the 1984 U.S. Open at,
Winged Foot.
yes, at Winged, after an 18-hole playoff with the one and only Greg Norman. He stopped playing in the Masters in 2009 after playing 31 of those straight. And I love this detail from golf.com. He never stopped going to the Tuesday night champions dinner, often wearing pink shirts under his green Augusta National Club coat, along with a loosely knotted tie. He was not a button-down guy. Definitely wasn't. Did you know this? Okay, here's a little trivia.
Gretchen caddied for him.
Gretchen Zeller did?
His last Masters.
Oh, I love that.
It was pretty awesome. Her little self out there.
Okay, so we have 4 seasons. 4 seasons, 2 golfers right here. Winter, spring, summer, and fall. I'm not going to start singing. Of the 4 seasons, which one was his least successful in terms of golf?
I'd say winter.
Yeah, I mean, either that or it would have to be fall, because, I mean, Masters is in the spring. So.
Well, you can't pick 2. Make a decision, sir.
I mean, if he says winter, I'll say fall.
Yeah, well, by default, all his PGA Tour wins, that all 10 of them were in winter, spring, and early summer. Just kind of random. And as you said, I mean, and again, this is from golf.com. I really love how they wrote and treated this. But a family of Hoosiers, they lived, and love this part, can kind of laugh a little bit, but lived on a large farm in Floyd's Knobs, Indiana, near the Kentucky border. Okay, how about just say Southern Indiana? Rooting for Indiana basketball, identifying with America's rural tradition. Fuzzy lived in camo. His life revolved around his family, his love of hunting and fishing, and driving a tractor. He liked to say that if he didn't play golf, he would have made a living doing something with a tractor.
Yeah. He loved his dogs.
He loved to have a good time.
He had his hunting dogs that
He lived large.
that he loved. Yeah.
Yeah, his son Miles showed me a picture.
Yeah.
He had texted him recently. There, I think he was in Montana, fly fishing, and having a good time.
I mean, we had just such a good time and are so grateful. And remember, Michelle was so instrumental in helping, Michelle Huber, in helping to set that up. And even though I'm not going to dwell on this, I am going to say this. Of all of the tributes to him, if you are one of the outlets that took 20 seconds of his life and words that came from his mouth and decided that defined who he was, shame on you. I have done and said stupid things in my life, things that I regret doing and saying, never on a national, international scale, but I can say with my whole heart, how dare, and may we, all of us, not have that cloud of judgment. What a shame, because he lived large. He supported the community in ways, like you said, this was important to him, that people knew where he was from. And he was so much more than a stupid soundbite. One of even our own local outlets, people called them out for that headline. And I was so happy to see that. But it's not okay. It's not okay. And I mean, that's a topic for another day. But to take the things that people do and say that defines who someone is, it doesn't. We all know that. It doesn't.
I mean, a long time ago when I grew up, there used to be the Foster Brooks, which was golf bringing in celebrities. That expired. Yeah. Fuzzy brought in the Wolf Challenge. And I mean, in our area, I mean, it was so much fun because especially the first few years when everything was at Covered Bridge. But I mean, you got to think. I mean, I've met a lot of people throughout time at that scramble, and when I worked out there, and I had full access and different things. But I mean, you got to think Charles Barkley. I mean,
John
you
Daly,
had
Bobby
Daly.
Jones.
I used to play in the Wolf with Bob for quite a few years in a row. I mean, you know, Kevin Costner, Bill Murray. I mean, Arnold Palmer, Jack Nick. I mean, I think Jack was here. I know Arnold was, but I mean, I played with quite a few of them. I mean, when the PGA was at Valhalla, John Daly would stay at Covered Bridge and be practicing out there during that tournament. He would stay out at a house that was out at Covered. I mean, there's so many things that was brought. I mean, Judd Ryan. I mean, I became pretty good friends with both of them for a while. If anybody knows, Chris Judd was married to Jennifer Lopez, and the backup dancer that was there, and Judd Ryan. I mean, it just so many times that you have a lot of good forward, and most people had been up at Fuzzy's house before because it was like, hey, let's go up here, and you know, and I mean, there's just a lot of good times, and along the golf. I mean, growing up, you realize things are attainable when they're in your area and you see them, right?
And he did that.
And,
he did that.
And it was all there. We were a mecca of golf. We had Jody Mudd in Louisville, and Powerbuilt used to be one of the best providers of golf clubs when they were out of. I mean, just so many things that were in this area, and I think Fuzzy brought a lot of that to Southern Indiana because it was primarily in Louisville, and then he brings in the Southern Indiana market, you know, and
A couple nice courses too.
great.
Well, I'd love to think of him up there, living large, joined with his wife, Diane, and so many others. And from all of us, rest in peace, Fuzzy Zoeller. Now, before we go, we almost always, last week we went a little long with Wiley Brown, no regrets on that, but I will say this. So our creative director, artist, Adam Kleinert, who lives in Henryville, always shares with us a drawing connected somehow to Indiana. And this was last week, so keep that in mind. This would have been last Monday's. So that date would have been
24th.
This should have rolled on the 24th. I'm not even kidding you. And I always say I never watch these. I always get surprised by them. But Adam reached out and said, hey, should we share this one? Because it was supposed to go last week. And I said, absolutely. Take a look.
Today's famous user is not just one from Indiana, but right here in southern Indiana. Many of us know Fuzzy Zoeller was born and raised in New Albany. You may also know this local legend from his PGA triumphs or one of the many golf courses he designed in our area like Champions Point, which happens to be in my hometown of Henryville. Several years ago, I had the privilege of meeting Mr. Zoeller, who was actually on the cover of one of our early issues of Extol. So I was happy to bring him back here today.
Got him with a big smile. There.
Gosh, yeah. Again, that should have played last Monday, but in tribute, we wanted to be able to share that. Thank you so much for watching Extol Unfiltered, caffeinated by NWSB. Bennett 10 is coming
Got
up.
some snow to talk about.
Got some snow. Jason, thank you so much for joining us as well. Look forward to see you join us next Monday. Have a great rest.